Food markets only.
Meet Susie Smart, she is so bright. On her blackboard you can write. She has a desk, she has a seat. What's your name, my darling sweet?
My name is Susie Smart.
She can talk!
She can talk, but can she add?
2 plus 2 is 4. Cat, C-A-T.
You can spell!
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how
You recite!
Press the button, she says a dozen things, complete with desk, blackboard, and seat. Susie Smart, sold at food markets only.
What's this stuff? Some cereal. It's supposed to be good for you. Did you try it? I'm not going to try it. You try it. I'm not going to try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't eat it. He hates everything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
Well, what's on the television then? Looks like a penguin.
Good evening, cats and kittens, pups and pooches. No, it is not a penguin. It's kind of what's left of its Susie Q96.
You're sick, man. You're sick.
And yes, I am. I've been sick all day. But I'm here. Probably not going to be here too long, but I'm here. Because I feel like crud. I guess that's a polite word. I don't feel so good. Oh. Anyway, I took a nap. It didn't help. Hi, New Marshall. Hi, Williams. Anyway, I did have a plan for tonight's show. Waiting for a few people to show up, maybe. Yeah, my aide was out for a week and she came back yesterday, and now today I'm sick, so I called her this morning and told her not to come. I just wanted to go get back in my bed, and so that's what I did. So it really did pretty much nothing all day. And I still don't feel really good. So probably not gonna do a real long show tonight. But anyway, I did work a little bit on making up some of the packets for the little race, which I have scheduled for next Wednesday, the 29th. And try to get that video out. And then we do have, I gotta get the link and put it up. We still have the guess how much money's in the jar thing going on. And we will probably be announcing the winner of that Monday, December 4th, along with the Patreon drawing and that kind of stuff. Where am I here? There I am. That's what I want. Oops. Let me paste this in here. It's been strange around here. They still haven't figured out my transportation for my doctor's appointments. I guess the insurance is arguing with the transport company, and neither one of them's coming up with a solution. So I had to cancel all my appointments yesterday because I have heard nothing back. And then this morning or today, one of them called me back about the appointment I supposedly rescheduled yesterday, and I'm like, I didn't reschedule anything because I have no way to get there. So these people just are not listening. Hello, Jackalope Herd Master. Mr. Doug Harding is in the house. Ooh, boy, I got me a whole room full of guys. I like that. That's fun. But let's not get carried away, boys. So, anyway, I got an idea, something I'm working on while I wait for people to wander in here. It involves something I learned not too long ago. One of the things I learned about our late friend Archaeology Mikey is that he loved Christmas ornaments. And in fact, he had me make a couple of Christmas ornaments that were memorial ornaments for deceased relatives of his. But his mom told me that everywhere they went, if he saw Christmas ornaments, he had to pick one out. She says they had a Christmas tree covered with ketchup bottles and cheeseburgers and all kinds of just different things that he saw and decided that he wanted. And I decided today, I was sorting through some of my craft supplies, and I found the leftover stuff from when I had made the memorial ornaments for his relatives, and I thought, I need to make one for Mikey. So I started designing this so I can make it and send it to his mom. And there is one thing I'm looking for. Because on one side it's going to have this angel that he had me use and a picture of him. But on the other side, I am trying to find another one of these because I don't want to give this one up because Mikey gave this to me. But I'm looking for another of these James Bond 007 silver rounds because it doesn't need to be slabbed like this one is, but I'm trying to find one pretty quick or something else 007 to put on the back side of the ornament, so it will have Mikey and his angel on one side and 007 on the other. So if any of you have one of those or know where I can get one, or that's not gonna cost me $1 bazillion, I want to try and start getting that put together I mean, worst case scenario, I can print something out, but I really wanted a coin, some kind of a coin. Anyway, I want to make something like that and send it to Mikey's family. A round would be better, but it really doesn't matter, Kevin. I just need, I can show you the size is, let me switch cameras here. I can show you the size of the thing that I'm using to make it on. And because I made coasters, and yes, I look horrible. Please don't look at how bad I look. I've been in bed sick all day. But it's about 3 inches around. See, I made these last year with my stickers, which anyway, it's about that big. And on this side, it's going to have like that. The angel's going to go up here where the hanger is, and then the picture will be there. And then I want the 007 for the other side. So that's kind of the general design. Because he really liked the ones that one was for his aunt, and I think the other one was for his grandmother. And he really liked them. And then his mom told me that he had this thing about ornaments. And so I just had that thought that I'd like to make a special one for his family. So, like I said, worst case scenario, I can make a printed one, but Mikey being so into the coin community, I'm hoping somebody will step up, that has one that will either sell it to me at face value or donate or whatever, so that I can make that for his family. I know his mom well enough to know that she would think that was something pretty special. And it just popped into my head today because I was sorting through, I'm packing a lot of my craft stuff, and I was picking out a few Christmas pieces that I was going to use. And when I ran across those angels, I thought about those ones that I had made for Mikey. And so I just wanted to throw that out there because it's just something I want to do. And like I said, if I have to, I'll do it a different way. But I was trying to make it a true Mikey treasure that would go with, yeah, his mom told me they would go in like places like Cracker Barrel or somewhere, some restaurant, and they would find these things with Christmas ornaments on them. And Mikey had gotten like slices of pizza, and yeah, it doesn't have to be an expensive one because we're not buying it for a collectible. We're just buying it as a component for the ornament. But apparently he had picked up cheeseburgers and pizza slices and ice creams and Yeah, see, Doug, that's perfect. That would be within the realm, and it would work just fine for this application. So I'd appreciate if y'all help me out with that, and we can get that off to Mikey's mom, and I think that would be, he apparently was real gung-ho on Christmas and on the ornaments. So anyway, that's just an idea. And I know this is metal detecting night, but I'm just killing time while we chit chat. I'm curious. I had this discussion with my brother a little bit today about what we want for Christmas versus what we can realistically have. And what one of the things was, we were talking about the Equinox 900. Gee, yeah, I'd really like to have one of those. And then we were talking about the in the same conversation, we were talking about $100 pinpointers, a little more realistic. So, what do you think, if you're asking for detecting things, what's your thing that you'd really like to have, and then what's the thing you think you might actually possibly get? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not getting anything related to detecting, and that's okay. I have plenty of detecting equipment. I just don't have the weather right now. But when I get to Michigan, I really don't think there's a whole lot I need. I've pretty much got all the stuff that I need. But yeah, I mean, would I like to have a more expensive detector? Sure, I would. Do I have to have it to keep detecting? No. Uh, but there are people that think unless they have the top dollar piece of equipment, that they're not going to be able to succeed. And I found my first gold ring with a $40 bounty hunter gold digger. So my big problem is that I've been sick and I haven't been able to get out and hunt. Or when I was well, then the weather would stink and I wouldn't get out to be able to hunt. So looking for a quarantainer. There's one. So I don't know that there's a whole lot that I feel like I need. Possibly better shoes. I could possibly use some better footwear for detecting. But in general, don't think I'm doing too bad with the equipment I have. Maybe a better GoPro, but the ones I have two GoPros. They're both GoPro 3s, but I'm not filming stock car races or motorcycles or planes or anything that's moving particularly fast. And I'm not going under the water, so I really don't need super expensive. The quality of the 3 is pretty good. It's just not, Speedy Gonzalez isn't running it, but would I like to have a better one? Sure, I would. Do I need a better one? Not really. That may change when I get to Michigan. Because one thing I know when I get to Michigan is that I will be getting out more because I will have people I can go with. Ever since I had that bad incident when I was by myself, I don't go on my own. But I have a lot of friends in Michigan I've got a couple that are actually holding a couple of really good permissions waiting for me to get up there so we can do them together, which is, absolutely awesome. And I don't have a lot of people here to go out with hunting. And so I don't. Yeah, that little bounty hunter that I've got, my sister sent it to me. She had bought it for her husband, trying to get him up and out and moving around, and he had no interest in it. And after my friend Tommy passed away, because he and I had picked out our detectors and we were going to go get them, and that was going to be our exercise thing. Well, then he had a stroke and died, and I didn't want to do anything. And my sister gave me the one she got for her husband, and that was what I started with. And found my first gold ring about 2 weeks after she gave it to me. Then I got this thing was so low buck, it didn't even have numbers or anything. It just is a gauge. It's basically, it makes a noise, you dig it up. I still keep it because I let little kids use it. They think it's the best thing since Twinkies. But the next thing I got was a Garrett 300 because I'm poor, so. And I was doing pretty good with the Garrett. It was a little bit heavy. And the main thing I didn't like about it was that it wasn't waterproof. The coil was waterproof, but the whole thing wasn't waterproof. And at the time, I was living on the Georgia-Florida border where it rained every day. And I would be out in the middle of a field somewhere and it would start pouring rain on me. just drenching me, and I just knew I was going to ruin this thing. So I thought, well, let me see what else is in my price range. And I started talking to Merrill, Metal Detecting NYC, and said, look, here's my situation. And at that time, the Simplex had not been out very long. And the Simplex, the whole thing is waterproof up to 10 feet. Well, all I wanted was something that wasn't going to drown in a Georgia, Florida rainstorm. So I got my Simplex, and I absolutely love my Simplex. It weighs the exact same thing as the Garrett, but the weight distribution is different, and it was much more comfortable for me to use. And I took it and I went back over places that I had been with the Garrett and found a whole bunch of really cool stuff. So, and I had only had the Garrett maybe about a month or so. I took it and cleaned it, every bit of it, put everything, including the warranty papers, everything back in the box, and I sold it on eBay. And that almost paid for my Simplex. Now I got all the goodies that go with the Simplex, so I'm pretty invested in it. One thing I would hope for Santa to bring me is one more set of snake skins, because I have 3 coils and one more. Excuse me. My goodness. And one more shaft. I have the cheap plastic shaft, lower shaft that came on it, and then I have one good shaft. Oh heck, my brain went dead. Somebody, yeah, blew out my last living brain cell there. But I'd like one more shaft and one more set of snake skins, so that way when I go to switch, I don't have to be taking things off the shaft and putting them in the bag and then getting something out. I can just grab the other shaft and just switch the whole thing out. But it's not something I have to have. It's just one of those, it would be nice things. Like I said, I more need, I don't really need a lot of tools. I have pretty much everything I need. I like my shovel that I have. I like my Nokta digger. I had a Garrett one. I gave it away. The one that I really liked was the first little digging tool I had. I got at either Lowe's or Home Depot, and I really liked it, and I lost it somewhere. My friend Susan and I used to call it Rambo. It had a little double pointed edge, which was really good down south on the point of it. so you could get under roots and things real easy with it. And I don't know, I lost it in a park or something. I laid it down, and I have been back to both of those stores and on their websites and everything, and never could find it. So, but I like the one I have now. Hi, Mike. Oh, so let's throw this question out there. If uh, Santa were to bring you anything you wanted for metal detecting, what would you ask him to bring you? I mean, I'm not even sure what I would want him to bring me, because the things I like are not necessarily the most expensive ones. I wouldn't cry if he brought me a legend. You can tell I'm kind of a Nocta girl. But I've heard a lot of people, they want the big fancy Knox, and I've used other people's, and they're beautiful machine, but I don't know that I'd want to invest that much money in one, my health being what it is. But I would maybe like to have a legend. I'm seeing a lot of good stuff happening with that machine. Just don't know. Like I said, batteries. Lots of batteries. Oh, this one's the best answer I have seen yet, right here. that is it right there. You got that one right, Mike, where you could just go right out the front door and dig them up. That would be awesome. Yeah, Kevin, skins aren't expensive. I've given away several sets of them actually, but at the time I didn't have 3 different coils and 3 different shafts, so I gave away ones that at the time were extra, but now they're not extra anymore. I have a purple one, a purple set, and an orange set, and I'm whatever one I get for the third shaft is going to be a different color, because that way I know the purple one, I can just reach in the bag. There's the purple one. Okay, that's the sniper coil. The green one, that's the stock coil that came on it. That yeah. So watch out, guys. I don't think I could get away with that here, but that is funny though. Yeah, I like Tom's answer too. Fortunately, my detector, well, I have 2 bounty hunters. One belonged to my brother, and the other one's the one my sister gave me. And they both take batteries, but my simplex, I don't need uh batteries. It plugs excuse me, it plugs in a USB port, and the only batteries I end up buying are for pinpointers, and I have a little one of those headlamps that you use when you're hunting at night. Now, there is one thing, batteries. My GoPros. I have 2 chargers for my GoPro batteries. I have 9 batteries, and the chargers hold 3 each, so I can charge 6 of them up at a time. But GoPro batteries go down really fast. And I have been out in the field and found like something really, really cool and go to film it and the battery dead. Yeah, right, New Marshall. That's kind of one of those things you can't unsee. I hope he's going to put some shoes on. Oh, God. Y'all are funny. Oh, my goodness. I'd like to unsee that image of Mike out in his front yard in his undies and with a fines bag. Oh, my goodness. Ah. Now, y'all, Santa Claus is watching. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for. Because I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the 12 days of Christmas. It's going to be scaled down considerably, but I'm still going to do something. You know, I could not just skip that entirely. It's tradition. Oh, and that reminds me. Let me show you what I got. A little mail call here. And this was such a funny thing. They had that big race thing to raise money to help me get moved up to Michigan. And I have forgotten who did it, but somebody that won one of the races donated their prize back into a race where anybody who was in the chat had a chance to win. Well, obviously, I was not buying or making donations into a thing that was for me, because that would have been kind of silly. But I was in the chat, so the race came up where if anybody in the chat could win, and I ended up winning a silver round, and this thing is so pretty. So I got Miss Elizabeth and a beauty-muss Canadian maple leaf silver round, absolutely pristine. Came in the mail to me today, along with a couple more Florida metal detecting stickers. So That's the first thing I have won in a long time, and I won it in a stream that was dedicated to me, which I thought was pretty funny. And speaking of Florida metal detecting, there's my boy Dwayne right there. Thank you, buddy. That thing is beautiful. Yeah, I don't know when it came because my aide has been sick for a week, but she went to the post office yesterday for me and it was there. So yeah, I really appreciate that. That's a nice piece there. And I told everybody, they asked me if I wanted to donate it back, and I said, under normal circumstances, I would, but I wanted to keep that as kind of a memento of what that whole group of people did for me. I want to keep that as a remembrance, that because a lot of the people that were involved in putting that together and making that thing work were people that I did not know at all, or I just was slightly acquainted with, and they just stepped right up to the plate and did that. And so I kind of wanted to keep that one. I want to keep that one as a little memory marker there because it is really pretty. Well done. And one of the things, when I am back in Michigan, I'm very close to Canada. So it's kind of, I started keeping Canada stuff after I moved away from there. So that's kind of a groovy. So anyway, yeah, I don't know what I would ask Santa Claus for. Like I said, I don't need a lot as far as detecting things, but um, like I said, snake skins in any color other than orange or purple, and a different shaft for the my other coil, because that was the only thing I did not like about the Simplex Plus was I felt like the shaft was a little bit flimsy. That was, other than that, I really still like that detector, and I got it let me see, when did I get it? 2019. So I've had it, for a few years, and still quite happy with it. I just did not like the plastic. I much prefer when I got that carbon fiber one, the first year anniversary of my channel. There's a guy floating around in the community. He does nice things for people. A feller named Muscle Shell. And he came in on the first anniversary of my channel, and he was going to get me a new detector, but I had already gotten a new detector. So he got me some of the accessories, and I got that carbon fiber shaft, and that made so much difference in how that detector feels in my hand. I will never be able to thank him enough, because the other thing he did was gave me money to go to Florida to metal detect and to see my brother, who was very sick, and he donated to that. So I went down there with Dawn, the metal detector, who was actually in the channel Monday night. Dawn is finally feeling a little better. She's been sick for over a year. So she was in the other night. And I want to send my condolences out to her family. Her daddy passed away the end of October. And even though we knew it was coming, that doesn't make it any easier on you when it happens. But I was happy to see my Dawn. She's a very, very nice lady. I hope she's able to start getting out and doing some detecting again soon. I still can't get that picture of Mike out of my head. Oops. Well, I'm not finding diddly doo-dah in these pennies. A lot of shields. Don't like the shields. Ugh. 61. I got a jar of 60s there. And I'm putting together the packages for the little race on the 29th. I think so far I've got, because some of them are too small to just be a single thing, so I'm making little packets of some of them. But some of them are big prizes, like pinpointers and some stuff like that. But this isn't going to be like 20 different races like that other one was. But there's probably going to be at least 7 or 8 different packets. All of them will be decent. So I just want to make sure that these things go for what they were supposed to be intended for, because they got sent to me instead of the other the big race. So this way I can get them out to people in time for Christmas. So that will be next Wednesday on the 29th. And then on December 4th, we will have the announcement of how much money's in the jar. And I believe, if you have not entered your guess on that, I have that at on the get it right here, dummy. I forgot to pin it. I posted it. Now it's pinned. The link to guess how much clad was in all of those little odds and ends bags that we found of metal detected items. So we'll see what happens with that. Give away some prizes. But yeah, I'm struggling here with these doctors and stuff. And I'm waiting to hear back from Michigan to see if I have moved up the list any. I try not to bother her too much. About every 10 days, I shoot her an email and see if I've moved up any, because I don't want it to suddenly creep up on me and then I'm trying to bust my fanny getting stuff packed, and Sir Benji's trying to get things organized to come down and drag my little fanny back up there. So about every 10 days I check in, and I've usually moved up one or two every time, so, or more. So right now I'm trying to do some packing and getting rid of things. And and I sold another record today. And some of you know I'm selling records out of my 45s collection. This one I kind of messed up. I think I could have gotten more for this, but I still got $56 for one single 45, so I'm not too unhappy. So far I have made about $700 on 5 records. So, and I have inspired another friend of mine who is having problems paying his medical bills. He's got a collection of about 3,000 45s, and he's going through his. Now, the interesting thing about his are going to sell for more no matter what, because he himself was a pretty well-known rock musician. So back when we were kids, we used to always put our names on our records. Well, that means every record he owns, regardless of what artist recorded it, he has autographed it. He's got his name on there somewhere. So he has a better chance of making money than I do. But I carried a lot of these records around for 50 years. I don't need to carry them around anymore. There are some wonderful young people that have picked up the vinyl record collecting hobby and will carry it on for years to come. So I'm glad that I can put these out there, because frankly, when it's my time to go, it's quite likely that whoever would be cleaning out my apartment or, getting distributing the things that I own would not have any clue that there was any value in those, and they'd probably just either throw them in the dumpster or drop them off at a local Goodwill. So if I can use the money from that to subsidize my medical care, I'm not going to cry about it. In fact, I have a couple of friends, I've been teasing them, telling them things like, well, okay, I put your blah, blah, blah record up for sale this week. Let's see what you're worth on eBay. And we were just like joking around about how much are you worth, you know. Yeah, one of the things, William, with estates that really kind of buried that kind of thing in my head was when my friend Lee Swimmer died. He had played for a while with the Edgar Winter group, and anyway, his mom and I were sitting at her dining room table, and we started talking about this thing that we saw on TV a couple of weeks before, where a guy it was either Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, that worked for a waste management company, was picking up the trash, and he saw this really nice wooden box on the curb on a pile with a bunch of other stuff, and he thought, "Ooh, that's really pretty. I'm going to grab that." So he grabs it, and it turned out it had somebody's ashes in it. And this gentleman had passed away or been evicted or something. But anyway, they found this box with this guy's ashes in it, and the waste management guy kept looking until he found the family, and was able to get the ashes back to the family. But we started thinking about, you know, what was going to happen to Lee's ashes, or what was going to happen to Mumsy's or mine, or, whatever. And then we started thinking about not just our ashes, but like she had some beautiful jewelry. They had lived in all over the world because her husband had been a big shot at the Pentagon, and we were thinking about people might find that box with that jewelry in it and just think it was junk, and it would end up down at the Goodwill. And so I started thinking that with all these records, I got rid of probably 3,000 albums, but I had never touched these 45s, and I have probably about 2,000 of them. And some of them aren't worth much at all, and some of them are worth hundreds of dollars. So I have to systematically go through them and look them up and figure out what's worth what. But I just started on the project about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks, but first they all have to be cleaned. So I sorted out all the ones I thought would be worth anything. It's kind of like metal detecting with plastic. The stuff that you find, you got to clean it up to see if it's worth anything. So anyway, I sold the first one. I sold for $196.50. Then I sold one for like $10. I thought it was going to sell for a lot more, but I probably should have marketed that one in Canada, because that one was, I guess people didn't really know who Randy Bachman was, but Randy Bachman was in the Guess Who and Bachman Turner Overdrive. And this was like according to all the history that I was able to dig up, was one of the very first songs he ever wrote, and it was the B-side of a very early Guess Who record before Burton Cummings was even in Guess Who. So I thought maybe that one would do better than it did, but oh well. And then I sold another one for over $300, and the one I sold today was like 57. Every day I try to put one up. I've got a few up there that haven't sold, and I'm going to go in and change the listings. But that's what I'm working on while I'm sick. And there's no way to go out here and detect right now. Our weather yesterday was horrific. It was like 30 degrees, and it wasn't exactly raining. It was just, you could see the water just hanging in the air. It was just bad. There was a song that came out by a friend of mine's band back in the early to mid 70s, a band from St. Louis called Mama's Pride, and they had this song called Blue Mist. And yesterday when I looked out the door, that song popped into my head, where you just couldn't see anything for the mist that was in front of you. And it was pretty descriptive. Today it looked better, but it was still really cold, because when I went up to the lobby, I started to step outside, and there was a lady coming in, and she just looked at me and said, "Don't do it." She said, "It is cold, cold, cold. Do not do it." So I didn't. So anyway, I'm not going to do real long, because as you can hear, I'm getting pretty hoarse, and I don't really have much more detecting stuff to discuss other than what we talked about earlier. And I still can't get that picture of Mike the Greek wishing Santa to bring him a front yard full of stuff to dig so that he could go out in his front yard in his underwear and his finds bag. That's never going to go away. Can't undid that one. And I am going to go back real quick, because some other people came in that might be able to help me out on my little project. I came up with an idea today, and some of you have already heard this, but we're going to go over it again. I had been talking to Archaeology Mikey's mom a while back, right after he passed, and she had told me about his great love of Christmas ornaments, unusual Christmas ornaments, and all the weird things that hung on Mikey's special tree that had cheeseburgers and little bottles of ketchup and ice cream cones and all pizza, all kinds of things that Mikey liked. And he had me last year make a couple of custom Christmas ornaments in memory of a couple of his relatives that had passed away. So I decided today, I found one of the little angels from one of those, and I decided I want to make one of those ornaments for Mikey's family. So I've got the picture, I've got the angel, What I'm looking for is something, does not have to be expensive, but I'm looking for something that has his 007 on there. Now, this happens to be a silver round that he gave me, and I don't want to part with it. So the ornament piece is about 3 inches round. So if we could find an inexpensive something that says 007 on it, I was hoping for some kind of a inexpensive metal coin or something. And Doug Harding had found a possible viable option, but y'all keep your eyes open because I really do want to do that for his mom. And like I said, I have all the other pieces that I need. And if I have to, I can just use paper, but I would rather it be a coin simply because that was Mikey's thing. So if anybody can come up with something like that, that would be tremendously cool. I have another option if I don't find something. I know M.A. Lyman does metal stamping. I've got a couple of pennies where he has stamped different things on them, and I can always find some metal round items and see if I can get him to 007 something, but I'd rather have a decent looking coin than a bunch of little ones. So it's just a thought. But anyway, I'm not feeling super cool, and you can go back and watch the beginning of the stream and see what people thought might be appropriate metal detecting holiday gifts. And if I think of any good ones, I'll be sure and let y'all know. Like I said, the snake skins, I thought that was a pretty good one. And thank you, Kevin. Put the thing up there for the Patreon. The Patreon drawing is coming up on December the 4th. The little race drawings are coming up on the 29th. And the jarful of clad amount is coming up on December the 4th as well. And then I got to start thinking about what we're going to do for the 12 days of Christmas. So it's that time of year again where Susie goes stupid. I've been known to done that. And I got something else I want to do right here real quick. If I can get my thing to cooperate. Oh, sometimes I get mad at this having to jump back and forth. Alrighty. Kevin, something different just happened to you, young man. You are always so helpful, and I have been short a couple moderators, so I just gave Kevin a wrench because he does such a good job of covering for me when I can't always keep up with the thing. Yeah, see, that's the other thing. I don't know when the move is going to happen. It can happen tomorrow. It can happen in January. That's why I said it's going to be a scaled down thing. I'm not going to completely not do it, but it's not going to be as elaborate as normal because I don't know what is going to happen. Things just, can change in a second. There. So I made a couple new moderators for now. I'm going to study on that more when I get up to Michigan because there's going to be a lot of things that are going to change on the channel. Once I can get everything set up, my brother bought a new computer twice as fast as what we have, and I've got some better lighting, and I've got what am I trying to think of? Oh, tripods. I got a couple of new tripods. Well, one of them's not new, but it's new to me. Hand-me-downs, where the lighting will be better. Oh, I will be so happy when the move is done. And one of the nice things about it is all of this stuff has been like pieced together over a couple of years or so, and it's not very tidy and it's not very functional. So when I get moved, everything can be put up as it needs to be. So everything will be far more functional, and I won't have quite so many problems. Because when I was in Georgia, I did pretty good, except when M3 would raid the office and pull all the wires out. But here, I have no room, and I'm dropping things and can't get to, like, if I want to use one piece of equipment, I got to unplug something else. And when I get up there, I'll have a lot more helpers, for one thing. I have a great group of friends up there that'll make sure that I don't have to struggle too much to get everything where it functions well for all of us. So, anyway, I'm going to go to bed. I am very tired. I want everyone to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Please do not eat too much. I'm not making like a full meal, but I found at the store, because really the only part of the turkey that I like is the drumsticks. So I found a package that just had 3 drumsticks in it. So I'm not making a whole turkey. I'm making 3 drumsticks and sweet potatoes and whatever else I find in the kitchen that looks like it belongs there. And one of the local churches is also supposed to be bringing us a meal. So I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm just going to be thankful I have a roof over my head and all you wonderful people that support me. So, yeah, it is going to be interesting to see what I find under the table and the desk. I have no idea. But there's going to be something under there for sure. Over the last 2.5, 3 years, a lot of things have hit the floor here. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. I might come on tomorrow and just do a deadbeat club pop in, let everybody know what's going on. So, all right, everybody. Much love. Bye bye.